Welcome back to our channel. We're Eric and Sarah, and if you've been watching our latest series, you know that we've been giving you a lot of different travel tips on our top things that we do, basically.
Things we've learned through travel.
That's right. And you know that this will be our last video, so we thought it would be fitting to give you our top 10 all-time travel tips of the things that we either pack or do and whatever.
These are going to be kind of random and in no particular order, but we just compiled our top 10 things that we think we shared throughout all the other videos and into one big list of the top 10 things you need to know.
That's right. So if you haven't watched any other videos, you got to watch this one right here, and let's get into it.
So fast. Okay, let's do it. Number one, we probably said this in like 3 different videos now, but slow travel is the best. We cannot
travel.
Overemphasize how much we love slow travel. We are obsessed with it. We think everyone should slow travel because it is the way to get to know cultures, to get to know people, to avoid travel burnout. Everything about it is better. If you've watched any of our videos, you know that we are just obsessed with it. So
yeah, that's that. Tip number 2 is book airport transport. So when we fly into a new country, we always make sure that we have something booked to bring us from the airport to our first stay, whether that's a hotel or Airbnb or whatever. It's just nice to have something set up on the other end, so when you get out of the airport, you're not having all these people yelling at you. I mean, you'll still have them yelling at you, but you don't have to deal with all these people yelling at you and being like, take my taxi, take my Uber, take this, you know? You don't want to deal with that. You want to have a transport set up, even if it's just a little bit more expensive than you might pay for a taxi. And our third tip is make sure that you bring compression sacks. Compression sacks are such a big deal to us. Like, it is make or break for our packing needs. Like, seriously, we pack all of our clothes into these compression sacks, and they go really small and they fit into your bag, and it's just a really good idea to bring them. We've thrown a lot of shade at packing cubes, but you know, compression sacks are so nice because they keep everything in one place and they keep it compressed.
Mm-hmm. Compression sack.
Compression sack. A sack of compression.
Literally, the name says it all.
Exactly.
Tip number 4, food and sleep are key to not only your mental health, but also traveling with a companion and just to being a good traveler. Mm-hmm. Make sure you're getting enough sleep. I know there's a lot of pressure sometimes to just go and just sleep as little as you can, but honestly, you're going to get burnt out and you're just not going to enjoy things as much, so please try to make sure that you're getting enough sleep when you're traveling and eating an adequate amount of food, whether you just bring snacks with you or you make sure to eat meals a lot on the way. These are often the source of any sort of bad day or grumpiness or just frustration you're having can often be solved by just a little more food and a little more sleep.
Nah.
Yeah.
Not
me.
No.
You.
Tip number 5 is travel credit cards. You need to get yourself a good travel credit card. Like we said in our other video, we could probably do a much better job of this, but we use a Scotiabank Passport Visa card, and it's really nice, at least for Canadians. It gives us some good foreign transaction fees, actually no foreign transaction fees, and it gives us an adequate amount of points for if we want to be traveling, taking flights. It's really nice to be able to kind of travel hack at least a little bit. If you're in the United States, I know there's a lot more options for you. So I would definitely, talk to your bank, talk to a good financial advisor, and find a good travel credit card for yourself.
Our next tip is don't ever leave your bag unattended. This goes for on buses, this goes for at beaches, any sort of public areas. Don't leave your valuables unattended. It seems really obvious, but we see so many travelers that kind of assume things are like it is at home, and they will just leave their stuff lying out, thinking like, oh, well, it feels pretty safe here, but you're just setting yourself up for somebody to maybe walk by and grab your stuff. And it doesn't always happen, of course, but just don't leave your stuff unattended. If you're sitting at the beach and you want to go swimming, ask a friend to watch your bag. If you're on a bus and you're going to the bathroom, just ask someone to watch your bag. Just don't ever leave your stuff unattended, or just take your valuables with you on your person at all times. Just avoid getting stuff stolen.
We've seen it so many times, like even just at the airport. We saw it once where somebody just they left their bag, they left the lounge, and then they came back and they're like, where's my stuff? And someone's like, well, someone probably just took it.
Yeah.
Because you just left your stuff unattended. Watch your stuff.
Watch your stuff. Tip number 7 kind of connects with that, and that is just to be aware of your safety. Just please be a smart traveler. Make sure to look things up. Make sure to ask locals for recommendations on what areas are safe or how to get around safely. Make sure to do your research on areas of town that are maybe dangerous, so you don't book a hostel or something else there. And just, be aware of your own safety. Don't do things you wouldn't do at home. Don't travel at night if possible, especially as a woman or a solo traveler. Try to avoid walking on the streets at night. If you're gonna go out and drink or go to different clubs or something, please be careful about your drinks and not accepting drinks from other people. Just stuff you wouldn't do at home. Just be aware to not do it when you're traveling as well.
It's a really good idea if you can to talk to the locals. The locals will always tell you the different areas that are not safe or that are safe. Our number one rule is that if we ever hear from a local that maybe we shouldn't go to this part of town, we just don't ever go to that part of town, because they know. They have seen it happen time and time again. And just listen to the people who actually live there. And something to connect with the last two is that we always will buy travel insurance and health insurance when we go traveling. It's really hard to sometimes find a good travel insurance agency, but we've been using Safety Wing for the last little while. This isn't a sponsored video. This is just a company that we like to use. And it's really nice because it's really cheap. You can book it when you're already abroad, and it has a lot of good coverage as far as like your travel needs, like if you lose your bags or if you have something happen, you need to go to the hospital. They have really good response times on their websites.
Yeah, just make sure to insure your stuff in your own safety, you know? It's a smart thing to do.
It is.
Our tip number 9 is to treat yourself.
Treat yourself.
This is something that we kind of took a long time to get into because we are kind of maybe more budget travelers. But we've decided now that every so often it's just worth it to splurge on something.
Totally.
Whether that's a certain activity that is on your bucket list that you really want to do, or a tour, or even just like a nicer hostel or hotel in a city. Every so often, this is not saying all the time if you're a budget traveler, but just try to save a little bit of money to maybe just splurge on something, because it always just feels nice, and it's nice to have like a special travel experience that's a bit different than everything else you've been doing.
Exactly. I think this is probably one of my favorite bonus tips from the last series, because it's just like, it's just nice, at least just for your mental health, just to have something to look forward to.
Yeah. And our last tip is that you cannot do it all. This is something so important to realize before you're traveling, especially if you're traveling long term. You just actually cannot do it all. Every country has so much to do usually, and you cannot fit it all in. So just be prepared so that you don't get super disappointed if you can't fit everything in. The weather changes, so sometimes that cancels plans. Sometimes just travel changes. Your health might change. You might get sick a few days. You might just actually just be burnt out and not feel like doing something. So just be mentally prepared that you cannot fit it all in, and you shouldn't actually just book your days chocked full of activities, or you're gonna feel disappointed when something doesn't work out.
And this just kind of connects to our very first tip, which is just slow travel is best. Like it's just a good idea to give yourself time to really get to know a place. That is when you will have the richest travel experiences, when you just take your time to get to know and enjoy the place.
Absolutely. Before we get into our bonus tip, we'd love to hear what you thought of this travel tips series. So please comment below and let us know if you had a favorite video, or if there's anything we missed, or maybe if you want us to continue this series with some other tip videos.
Or what did you think of our little homemade little studio that we came up with, and kind of between two ferns?
Because we definitely own the studio for sure. This is a real place.
This is not my parents' house.
No.
Let us know in the comments. And the bonus tip, our very last bonus tip,
the biggest bonus of all the bonus
of all the top 10 tips.
Bonuses.
The tips of the travel trip tips is to just book it. Just book it, man.
Book the trip.
Book your trip. Go on your trip. Go find a place that you would like to go to and just book it. You're not gonna go if you don't book it. You will just always have it kind of pushed off and be like, maybe I'll go next year. Maybe I'll go a little while from now. It's just not working out. Book it. Just go.
Make it happen. Budget it in. Save some money. If you're feeling anxious or worried about certain things, just try to find a way to cope with that, and just book the trip.
Just book it.
Make it happen, because you will not regret it.
Yeah. Okay, so clearly we've had a ton of fun making this series. Thank you so much for watching, everyone who's watched all the different videos. I hope that some of these tips were useful to you, especially in this video where we just have all our top 10 favorite ones that we've made. So thank you. Subscribe. Like this video if you liked it. And
we'll see you in the next one, whatever that looks like. Wow.
10 videos.
10 videos. Bada bing, bada boom.
We tend filmed videos this
10
week.
10 videos.
This is the week that we filmed 10 videos.
Let's document this 10th video that we filmed in this week. Cheers. Can't break eye contact. That was scary. We out.